Hello and welcome to AorbTech. Today we're going to start another session about NumPy, and this session is all about to create a different matrix. So the agenda of today's session, first we'll learn how we can create a zero matrix. After that we try to learn one matrix, and in the last we'll see how we can create a empty matrix. So let's start with it. Before going to start zero matrix, first as you know that we need to import our package, which is NumPy, as we already know that NumPy is used for multi-dimensional array. So let's import NumPy as NP. You can give it any name, but standard one that mostly people use are NP. Now let's create a zero matrix. So I wanted to give a name, let's say that zero matrix 1, and to create a zero matrix you need to define your package, for example np. Then you have to write the name, for example which matrix you want to create. For example, I wanted to create a 0, so I press 0, and then how many row and column. For example, I wanted to create 3 row and 4 column, close bracket, and I just wanted to define, and as you can see that we create our first zero matrix with the 3 row and 4 column. As you can see, by default, if you see, these are the float. So let me show you zero matrix dot d type. As you can see that by default it's float. So let's say that I wanted to create another matrix, zero matrix. Just want to give the name of 2 np dot 0, and this time let's say that I wanted to create a matrix of 4 by 7, and I want to call, and let's see the result. So as you can see that I create another zero matrix with the 4 row and the 7 column. As I mentioned that by default it's float value, but if you want to change the name, if you want to change the data type, you can simply maybe I can show you here. So let me copy this example again, and I need to d-type, and I would say that integer, and I just run, and as you can see that now my zero matrix with the 4 row and 7 column are integers. You can check the type of the matrix, for example dot type, and it will show you integer 64. So as you can see that you can create a zero matrix with a different data type. For example, here I can create integers. You also can create a boolean or some other data type as well. So I hope you understand. Simply you just need to write the package dot and just call a function of the package, for example 0, and whatever length of the matrix you want to create, you just defined the value. For example, the first parameter here is represented by row, the second is represented by the column, and if you want to change the data type, then you need to pass another parameter, and you have to mention which data type you want to create with the zero matrix. So yeah, that's how we can create a zero matrix. So let's move to our next topic, how we can create a one matrix. Now we will learn how we can create a one matrix. To create a one matrix, let me show you. So one matrix, and I just call my package, and simply you have to call once which means one matrix, and then you have to call how many row and column you want to create. For example, I want to create 6 row and 4 column, and let's run one matrix with 6 row and 4 column. And as you can see that our one matrix is create here. Very easy and simple way, same as that you create a 0. Instead of write 0, you just simply have to write ones. So by default it's again boolean. Let me show you an example, and let me show you how we can change the data type as well. So let's say that one matrix data type, and as you can see that is float. And let me show you another example, and I would say that matrix, and I wanted to create another matrix once, and I would say that 2 row and 2 column, and simply I just need to run my code, and as you can see that 2 row and 2 integers with the one matrix. If you want to change the data type, for example, you can simply change the data type, for example integer, and if you want to check again the data type is changed or not, so simply you need to run the function dtype, and it will show you your data type. So as you can see that is integer. For example, this time I wanted to change another data type, and I would say that instead of integer I would call as a boolean. So let's see. It's great. Let me check the type. As you can see that it's true. Why is true? Because our value inside the matrix is 1. If it's 0 in the above case, it will show all value are false, but here in this example, as you can see, true, because all the value are 1, as you know, that represented by true, and 0 is represented by false. So that's how you can create one matrix with a different data type. If you want to check the type just to make sure, so simply you just need to run the function dtype, and it will tell you the type, which is boolean. So perfect. As you know that this is the same way you can create a matrix of 1, same as you create a previously in a 0 matrix. Perfect. That's how you can create a one matrix. Now let's move to our next topic, which is create an empty matrix. So let me show you how we can create an empty matrix, which is our last topic today's session. So to create empty matrix, let me define a variable name. Let me say that empty matrix, and I would say that call my package and I'll say empty, and then I would take 4 row and 4 column, and simply I just to call my variable, and I will get my results. So these are the empty matrix that we create. As you can see that we create with 4 row and 4 column. Maybe the question came to your mind, why this looks so strange here? Although we create empty matrix, but why this value? So when you create an empty matrix, it does not set any values. These are just random values. Main point is that this empty matrix is created based on the shape here. So 4 row 4 column we created here, value are not set. These value are just random value which assigned to this memory allocator based on the shape that we given. I hope it's clear for you. So let me show you another example. Let me take a different column and row, and if I say that empty matrix 1, and if we call, and as you can see that these are again a random value that we assigned here, and it's allocated based on the memory that we gave here, for example 5 row and 5 column. And if you wanted to check simply the data type, it will show float, and you can change data type as well as I mentioned. So if you want to check the type, and I wanted to check, maybe let's say that bool value, and just simply it will return, it could be true, it could be false, because it's a random generated value allocated to memory. It does not set any value, it just basically allocated a memory based on the shape. So yeah, that's it for today. I hope this session is clear for you. If you have any questions, feel free to write in the comment section. And let me repeat quickly what we learned today. So we learn how we can create a different matrix. First we learn to create a zero matrix. Simply call the package, and after that 0 and whatever value or you want to create, for example 0, 1 or empty, based on your choice and which shape you want to create. I also show you can change the data type as well. For example, we change here integer, and lastly we clear with empty matrix. As you can see, this is a random value generated based on the shape that we given. And yeah, that's it for today. For the source code, please follow this link which is given here. I will also paste in this video description as well, where you can download the GitHub repository as well. You can follow our website where you can see the complete series of NumPy as well. So yeah, and if you enjoy this video, please like, subscribe and share. See you in the next video.